Hope everyone's doing well. My name is EQ and welcome to another episode of Stockaholics. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about the old Dogezilla. We're going to be going over what's going on with it, some of the basic tokenomics, where it's coming from, why it's holding up, predictions going in, and we're going to go through a full TA from the beginning of these impulse moves, where we are in the waves, where we can be looking to go, if there's any more rally left. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe to the channel, throw a like on the video, do any of that fun stuff. It's super appreciated, and let's get it started. So we're going to take a quick peek at Doge real quick. Right now we're ranked at number 6, which is insane. Finally top 10. We're sitting at 31 cents, almost pushing to 32 cents, with a market cap of 41 billion right now. And Doge currently has a circulating supply of 129 billion coins. And keep in mind that 67% of those coins are in 91 wallets. So before we really dive into Doge, let's watch this little Doge video, because their website's pretty basic. This is really all there is on it. There's nothing too special. But we're going to be diving more into what makes Doge unique and kind of why it's still been on the map. But before that,
digital currency. It can easily be sent through the internet from person to person with total security. With instant transactions, you can send coins from Melbourne to Mumbai, from Madrid to Minneapolis in seconds. It's simple and safe to use, and is already accepted at online retailers where you can buy gifts, groceries, services, and so much more. What makes Dogecoin truly unique from other currencies is how its ease of use makes it the perfect way to instantly send cash gifts to people all around the world. You can send 10 cents to your favorite comment on Twitter, or $10 to your favorite band to purchase their latest album. You can even send $100 to a charity that you support. There's no middleman to take a cut, and the transactions are completely anonymous. If you are a creator, you'll find your fans can financially empower you. For the first time, you can directly receive cash from them, rather than a valueless like or retweet. You now have the opportunity to spend more time creating content and less time counting cents. Be part of something big, something groundbreaking. Within the first few months of creation, the Dogecoin community has already achieved great things, from funding Olympic athletes to providing clean drinking water to those in need. The community is welcoming and amazingly generous. You'll fit right in. So, how do I join in? To start, visit Dogecoin.com and download your own digital wallet. Then, join the community on Reddit, where thousands of helpful people will happily answer any of your questions, and where you'll also receive some free coins. Dogecoin, the internet currency. We'll see you on the move.
so Dogecoin is based on the popular Doge internet meme and features the Shiba Inu on its logo. The open source digital currency was created by Billy Marcus from Portland, Oregon, and Jackson Palmer from Sydney, Australia, and was forked from Litecoin in December 2013, which a lot of people do forget. Dogecoin's creators envisioned it as a fun, lighthearted cryptocurrency that would have a greater appeal beyond the core Bitcoin audience, since it was based on a dog meme. Tesla CEO Elon Musk posted several tweets on social media that Dogecoin is his favorite coin. The Dogecoin blockchain has historic popularity as a micropayment and community-driven fundraising platform. There are a wide range of online merchants and vendors accepting Doge for payments, and the Dogecoin community is known for its frequent group charity initiatives, including a raise of $50,000 to aid the Jamaican bobsled team for a trip to the Sochi Winter Olympics, $30,000 for World Water Day in 2014, and $55,000 to sponsor NASCAR driver Josh Wise. Doge may not have the same long-term store value appeal as some other tokens, but the blockchain functions efficiently within its own preset restrictions. An original intention for Doge was to become an online tipping medium to leave small appreciation gifts for Reddit comments, YouTube videos, and charity initiatives, so small token denominations support this utility. You can get tipped Dogecoin by participating in a community that uses the digital currency, or you can get your Dogecoin from a Dogecoin faucet. A Dogecoin faucet is a website that will give you a small amount of Dogecoin for free as an introduction to the currency so that you can begin interacting in Dogecoin communities. Doge was created as a fork of Luckycoin, which in itself is a fork of Litecoin. Doge uses the same scrypt algorithm as Litecoin, which is initially designed to be an ASIC-resistant alternative to the Bitcoin blockchain, but in 2014, algorithm became ASIC minable. And Doge may have started as a joke, but the network's ability to retain a consistent flow of transactions at a low fee with high speeds has ensured its place in the crypto market cap top 10. So a major part of trading is finding coins with massive boom potential, aka you want to find coins that people will cause hysteria over and use that to make money. Doge is definitely one of those coins. The hype has been there since the 2017 bull rush. The second Elon Musk and Mark Cuban got on board recently, things started to change drastically. Sure, there's no tokenomics or true value compared to other projects, but that's the power of a decentralized market. The market can only be manipulated so far, and the average person can group up with millions of others to make a decent chunk of change. I think that's why people honestly love it so much, because it's the people's currency. So the real big question is, will the Doge rally continue? We're going to jump into that in charts after this, but from meme coin to a top altcoin ranking 6th in terms of market cap, Doge's price rally is currently unstoppable. Though the price has dropped in the last 24 hours, it is still 340% higher than a week ago. The current on-chain sentiment is bearish and the trade volume has dropped over 50%. However, considering the fact that the price continues to remain around the 30 level, it is clear that there are huge hodlers resisting the selling pressure on Doge. Though dropping trade volume alone may not be enough to lead to a further price drop, Doge has support across spot exchanges. The top markets for Doge are Binance and Huobi Global. KuCoin also has Doge. Don't let them leave you out, KuCoin, I got you. Traders' confidence is high in the top markets, and after an extended price rally, the concentration by large holders is at 66% since it hit a new all-time high. Doge made headlines pumping higher than most altcoins, and this has led to fears of Doge being a bubble. However, the concentration by large holders is a metric that addresses these fears. The fact that 67% of Doge is concentrated in 91 wallet addresses reminds traders that there are holders willing to hodl Doge in the long term. And another thing to keep in mind is that Coinbase has not listed Doge yet. They just went IPO. So if they really wanted to drive the value of their company up, I think it could have been a reason why they haven't added it yet, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Coinbase adding Doge into their system at some point within the next month or 2 months, just because of the hype train that's currently on it. So let's get into the fun part, which is the charts. We're going to start off on the daily right now, and I kind of want to go over where I noticed that Doge is going to be going off, what I saw, and how I saw that this was going to continue moving, knowing where the second move was going, and what I think is going to happen on this third wave, considering, or technically the fifth wave if you're considering Elliott waves, but there is something missing here we'll go over a little bit later in this video. So originally what I noticed from the top, you can see, even if I was to stretch this line, price never really broke over here in terms of the entire history of Doge. That was a major resistance for Doge. So this became a major SR flip on the 200 EMA, which is the orange line. So you can see price was sitting. You finally got a break of this resistance. This resistance became a support and held for, a couple weeks, and finally touched that line and took off for the first impulse move. So you want to be watching those major SR flips, especially on long-term charts. That's going to be the first signal that something big is happening. So we go on to the first move, throw a fib retracement on there to see how far the price actually fell. Probably going to be around the 78.6 because that's natural. Boom. Yep. So price hit a candle on the 78.60 fib retracement, which is usual for a massive impulse, and considering how Doge was moving before, this was definitely a massive move. You can see the volume went all the way up as the highest it's been in probably its history or in a long time. And even with that, the STO RSI did not hit the overbought region, which is pretty interesting. So it only took maybe 5-6 days for it to start continuing its retracement, which is fast. A lot of times, if you've seen some of my other videos, I talk about on fib retracements. If you're watching it on a daily chart, it can take a couple weeks or even months sometimes to fulfill an entire retracement. So the fact that Doge is able to make this retracement essentially within 2 weeks is pretty huge. So when you got this retracement, you had a major resistance right back at this high, which was at 8 cents at that point, basically 9 cents, which would have been a major psychological resistance. And from this point, price drops. If I'm looking at it from here, I would add a rectangle from this point, because this looks like a pretty common area for price to continue its move. We got a support a little bit over the 61.80. If I had some more of my fib lines, I think it's around the 38 line, but we don't need any of those. The 61 and the 78 are the most important. So you see we stayed on support, got a couple fake outs or lower wicks outside of the rectangle. Price had a resistance point at mid channel, which eventually was able to break. Even though it did have a fake out, we got a price break and a support hold. This support hold is solid because it matches up with this support hold on this side, which created the impulse move out of the channel. If we're looking for confirmation that this was a big move, you drop down, see if you can see it on a 4-hour. So right here would have been my confirmation of impulse support. You can even drop this a little lower to hold the rest of these bodies. This right here would have been impulse support, because we got a breakout and we're getting a nice support hold. If you really want to dig into this, you could say that this was with a fake out, but it is an ascending triangle. So it was inevitable that I was going to break one way or another. Based on the first move, if I still have my fib on here, yep. Let's go back to daily, now that we know where that move was. So you see, based on the first move, price was expected to get only to 16. You can see it went all the way up, way far and beyond that, into one no man's land, all the way up to 44 cents. You got your massive impulse move if we're going to throw a retracement. So anytime you see a skyscraper is what I call it. It's a massive impulse move that looks like a big old skyscraper, and then it has the antenna on the top. That's usually a good sign that price is looking to come down. This is something that's more obvious on a long-term chart. So if you're looking on an hourly chart, you might get faked out, but on a daily chart, it's kind of obvious when price wanted to start coming down. You had a lot of sellers pushing down. So considering the entire size of this impulse move, you can see that we didn't even reach the 61.80. So price could still potentially come down. We do have space for it to come down here. But as you can see on the D7R RSI, we're holding support, which is a great sign for Doge. The ironic part about all this, which I wanted to bring up, is that even with this massive impulse move, volume was not very high. And even with that decrease and this major drop, volume was not high again. So I wanted to call this wave 1, and I wanted to call this wave 3, but I kind of want to call this one wave 1 just because the volume that you're seeing on this was almost double the volume from this recent impulse move, and price from there moved from 0.005 to around little under 10 cents, which is a huge move, but nothing compared to moving from 7 cents to 45 cents in one impulse. So we're going to drop down to 4-hour again. And from here, we can move the fib retracement up a little bit. If I move it to here, which is the start of the impulse move from this little area that was our ascending triangle. So right now what we're looking for price to do, since it bounced on the 61.80, and that's kind of signifying that this wasn't a big impulse move. A lot of times on the big impulse, you'll see it come down to the 78, which this isn't doing. A sign that there is more that Doge is hiding from us. I was talking about this in the Discord the last couple weeks, just because on the weekly this thing is ready to go and can just continue to make massive moves. we're getting dips here and there, but these retracements are going fast, and considering how bad the market dropped yesterday, and Doge right now is sitting up plus 13, the market's about to close in 5 minutes and we're going to get a fresh day. So we're going to see what's happening, but long term I think Doge is not done. I think we're just getting the first little taste of what Doge is going to do and surprise everyone and kind of shake the world. But keep in mind that this thing is probably going to come down really, really hard once it does come down, especially considering how fast it's moved in the last couple months. If it continues to move the way it does, I mean, you might be able to see more than a 200% retracement from the total move. But for the time being, we are still riding in a bullish move. And based on this previous impulse, what everyone wants to know is where price can go. Now note, from the last move, this was nothing compared to this move. But based on this impulse move, we can see price push potentially up to 77 cents or higher, which a lot of people are going to say sounds crazy, but from a TA standpoint, it does make sense. We have plenty of space on the 4-hour chart. The daily chart is finally starting to pull out of the overbought area. And then you have your weekly chart monster, which just has way too much room to grow. And that about wraps up this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Hope you found some useful content. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you haven't had a chance to check out any of our Discord information, check it out below. We only have under 15 spots left in the $5 a month group. And thank you guys so much. Catch you on the next episode.